It is February the 26th. Wow. Hmm. February the 26th, 2024. It is about 7:48 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I hope you're doing well. For me, I'm good. I had a good weekend. I also hope you had a good weekend as well. I just got done drinking a smoothie. Um, Smoothie recipe I made was a banana, blueberries, um, dragon fruit, mangoes, and some water. I meant to add some flaxseed to it, but I forgot. But it was very delicious, very delicious. Like I said, who said that all healthy food was nasty? We can make smoothies out here. We don't need to eat processed junk. That's the proper way of breaking a fast. So anyway, that's the smoothie recipe that I made, and yeah. So let's talk about hip hop, rap music, right? Very popular here in the United States. It's pretty much part of um, American culture to a certain degree, and I think hip hop nowadays is quite toxic. There's a lot of toxic themes in hip hop. I think that we have to realize that young people listen to this stuff. Young people listen to this music, and if we're constantly, you know, feeding young people these negative messages, we wonder why, you know, the youth are just, seem like they're going crazy. They're committing crimes like crazy, you know, and so one of the biggest themes I've seen is like this whole like worship of money. That's a constant theme that you see in like a lot of rap music nowadays. You got to get the money any which way. It doesn't matter whether it's like morally right. And that's a very toxic way of thinking. Um, you should always have some sort of moral compass. You shouldn't have this mentality where, screw everybody else. I'm going to get the money any which way possible. You shouldn't have that mentality, you know. And I think this is why you see what you see out here. You see a lot of scamming, scheming, um, just things that really morally just aren't right, you know, just all types of stuff. Crimes, theft, robberies, all for money, all to get the money, right? And that's a constant theme that's being fed to young people through this music, you know? And so, why is it that this music is promoted so heavily, to young people? Why is it that when you turn on a hip hop station, it's nothing but just toxic, you know, toxic frequencies coming through those speakers, right? And it's crazy. It's unfortunate. It's something that we need to address as well. And you shouldn't worship money in general. You shouldn't have this love affair with money. Um, Even the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And whether you believe in the Bible or not, um, I mean, you gotta acknowledge like there's a level of truth in that statement. The love of money is the root of all evil, because if you love money, you're gonna do anything to get it. You don't care if you're screwing over people. You don't care if you're messing people over. Like you're gonna get the money regardless. You're going to take money, you're going to steal from innocent people. You're just going to be an evil, filthy person because you have a love affair with money. And it's not right. If you're somebody like that, uh, you are possessed spiritually, and you really need some sort of intervention, whether it's talking to a therapist, because this is a real problem. If you're somebody that's willing to steal from other people, you know, willing to rob for money, you know, that's a serious problem. Especially if you have the means to get it another way, but you're just somebody that doesn't want to do that. And there's a lot of people out here that kind of just they just like the thrill of committing a crime, taking from other people. Somebody like that, you need some sort of intervention, you know. And the music doesn't help either. Another thing this today's rap and hip hop promotes is this drug usage, popping pills, um, just promoting drug usage. You don't ever want to use drugs, and obviously, that's a message that we've gotten in elementary school. But even though they literally tell you that all the time in elementary and middle school, there's still people that are gonna fall into the trap of using drugs. They're gonna use drugs. They're gonna end up ruining their life. You know, you look at a lot of homeless people out here in the inner city. A lot of them are on drugs. They're willing to do anything, for drugs, and it's crazy. Whole life ruined over drugs. That addiction is strong. That addiction is strong, and so that's something that you know. Honestly, if I had kids, I would do my best to like keep them away from like any sort of rap music. Obviously, you can't keep them away from everything, but this toxic, this evil toxic music that's being played on hip hop stations all over America, right? We have to find a way to like mitigate that. We have to find a way to counter that in a way, you know. And there's positive rap music, there's positive hip hop music out there, but it's not being played on the radio because they don't want your frequency to be positive. They want you on some sort of negative frequency, negative vibe, negative energy. That's what they want. They don't want you thinking positive. They don't want you to have positive, happy thoughts. They want you thinking about worshiping money, popping pills, sleeping around, disrespecting women, violence. And we're going to get to some of these other bad things about hip hop music too, but this is what I'm talking about. It's not good. And so yeah, another theme is sleeping around, just having intercourse with as many people as possible, and it's promoted as some sort of good thing. I've seen male and female like rappers promote this, and it's very toxic. It's very dangerous. Um, you know, and again, you have to ask yourself, why is this stuff even being promoted to the youth? Well, they don't care about the youth. It's all about making money. It's all about, you know, at least when it comes to the violence part, filling up the prisons. It's all about having that negative just vibe, you know. If they really wanted to lower crime, one of the things that they could do if they want to lower crime is to have positive music promoted on the airwaves, have positive messages, positive energy promoted on the airwaves, have healthier food available to people. And they've done studies in prisons where given prison inmates healthier food, and it lowered like the overall like violence in that prison. And so this isn't just something that, that I'm just saying. This is real fact, you know. And so when it comes to sleeping around, that's very dangerous. You could catch STDs, HIV, um, and a number of other STDs. With this whole thing of just sleeping around, you're supposed to really find like one promote positivity, and you're gonna see positivity return in a lot of the youth. This is why you see a lot of these youth, they go into these stores. They don't care that there's people literally recording them with their cell phones. They're going in there, filling up bags while the phone is in their face and just leaving. I mean, these people, these somebody like that is completely possessed. I'm sorry. Like, well, actually, I'm not sorry. It's the truth. They're completely possessed. If you're somebody that's willing to just walk in a store, uh, throw as much stuff into a bag as possible and run out of the store, and the employees are literally um, filming you with their cell phones. I mean, what's wrong with you? And then, of course, there's other factors too. Were they raised in a single parent household? Do they have any sort of positive influence in their life? Most likely not. Um, but I'm pretty sure that person listens to a lot of rap music, a lot of music that has these evil, toxic themes in it. And so, yeah. Another theme is disrespecting women. I think that's a big problem in music, rap music at least. It's bad. It's bad. We have to stop glorifying disrespecting women. And this has actually been a very constant theme since like the mid to late 90s. You know, really, I'd say the beginning of the 90s, really. That's when music started taking that turn into negativity, because you have to remember back in the 1980s, rap music was pretty positive for the most part. I mean, you still had negative music, but once the 90s came along, it pretty much was all negative, all toxic, you know. Even though a lot of people say the 90s was like the best time for rap music and hip hop, I think it was the 80s, because that was before it became like real corporatized and had all these super toxic negative themes to it. Because even in the 90s, you have to remember, worshiping money, disrespecting women, violence, sleeping around, all that stuff was promoted in hip hop and rap music even back then. We have to remember that. And so, yeah. uh Violence, violence, very, very popular in this music, very popular theme in a lot of this hip hop music. you know I don't understand where all of this like anger and wanting to harm one another is coming from. It's extremely unnatural, and I think it comes from, um, well, I don't know if I want to get into that, but just the violence that's being promoted in the music as something that's just normal. You know, we have to get away from that. We have to, you know, learn how to respect one another, learn how to actually talk out our differences instead of getting violent we have to not fly off the deep end. And part of this goes back into nutrition. Because if you're eating a bunch of bad food, that does change up your brain chemistry, and it makes it to where you're willing to fly off on the deep end a lot faster than you naturally would. These fast foods, especially like in the inner city, where there's a lot of food deserts. Only the nearest grocery store is far, and so you're pretty much, and for a lot of people, especially if they don't have a car, you know, you'd have to take the bus just to get to the grocery store, and the bus in a lot of these inner cities can be pretty inefficient as well. And so now you're forced to just shop at the local convenience store, where it's nothing but junk in these places. And so that food, it changes up your brain chemistry. You're willing to be more violent. You fly off on the deep end faster. And like I said, they've done research on this. All you have to do is look it up. And so I think this is something that's important, that we have to talk about, this violence. You shouldn't really be violent at all. You have to learn how to talk things out. But yeah, we have to we have to find a way to balance out this toxic rap and hip hop culture. These themes that surround it are bad. They're being pushed onto the masses, especially the young people. Most people, I'd say over the age of like 50, well, I'd say somewhere between the age of 40 and 50, they're usually kind of, they're not really into this type of music, but you do have some people that are. And I think that that is a shame, because at a certain age you shouldn't be into this type of toxicity. You have to, be more mature. And so I think, man, honestly, it's unfortunate, but y'all have to get to work. Gotta get to work. I really appreciate y'all watching this video. But yeah, I hope y'all have a great Monday. You're gonna be watching this video Monday evening. But yeah, hope you had a great Monday, and thanks for watching.